First thing, going on. Kleber gave me a shout out to 5 viewers. Ooh. Ooh. I can do it back. I don't like it. Like, what does this do? How does this pop up in your chat, right? I can't see my chat as you see my chat. I can only see my chat as I see it. Did you have a clickable to go to Kleber's channel? Do I have a clickable? Can you click? Can you do the clicky? Ah, poopy. Don't tell me because it's transparent. I can't. Don't mess with me. Don't mess with me. Then we go to modeling mode. And we go to... We always only see chat through our own eyes. Hugh, that's too deep. Take it back. One step out of the philosophical pool, please. Anyway, I dropped both of those languages like a week after that debacle, and it was hilarious because now I don't speak any Russian. I don't speak any Cyrillic languages. I can just about read the alphabet, maybe on a good day, and then that's it. Yay! It's really funny. Every time I'm like earnestly reading Cyrillic characters, my friend will just be like, no, 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 no. And he'll just read it like as if they were all Roman characters. And I'm just like... Anyway, mesh merge. So what we want? New object. Erlen me. Flisk. Erlenmeer. How do you spell Erlenmeyer? Is it Erlen? I think it has a weird Y, right? But it's... See, that doesn't look right. I feel like the E and the Y are meant to be reversed. Can I, if I type it in chat? Yeah, that is wrong. Erlenmeyer. Fisk. Ankan. Not shot. I'm really bad at Swedish, okay? Just pulling me on this shit. Erlenmeyer. Oh, Flisk. Not Fisk. That's my eyes. That's not my Swedish. From input, delete inputs. Current folder. Bot. No, I have to actually click accept. Bot. There you go. What do we have here? 7,000 vertices, 8,000 triangules. Can we, maybe if we have a look at the wireframe? Oh, it's fine. That's as wireframed as it would be. Would that it were not wireframed. I don't know what I can say about this. That's exactly what I expected. It's a lot of triangles for a flask, sure, but I mean, just look at the stuff in the background, okay? You can't tell me this is high poly. You can't even see infinity space back there because there's so many triangles, okay? So don't give me that. I know it's not nanite because it's got translucency, but give me a break, okay? There's only so much magic I can work in one day. When they add translucency to nanite, okay? Details, element 1, element 0, that is text. That is pink. Well done. Yes, pink. And that is flask glass, yes. So the glass potentially needs to be half as transparent again as it was originally. Yes. And also, with the Fresnel, like a cheeky Fresnel effect. So is there an automatic kind of Fresneling? There isn't, right? Some Fresnel. Some Fresnos. It's a beautiful model, isn't it? I really like the detail that you get into it. It's probably going to be massively unfeasible to render this on a Nintendo Switch, but do you know what? A lot of me cares, and I've been thinking about it recently. How well is a Nintendo Switch going to deal with Nanite? Jesus. It's fine. As I say, this level is probably going to get redone several times before the game is finished. So, hey, Fatless Dev. Oh no, Fatless. You've removed UE4 from your name. Have thee betrayed Epic? Screw the Switch. We can't screw the Switch. The Switch, yes, betrayed Epic. Oh my god. Screw the Switch. We can't screw the Switch because the Switch is the most accessible entertainment device available to poor children attending poverty schools. Like, poverty school isn't going to give you a gaming PC. You removed UE4. No, no, no. Yeah, but like, you didn't replace it with UE5. You know, the evidence is there, Phallus. I'm sorry. Epic Games like, dost thou bite thy thumb at me? Did you know? Free for a month is... It's funny that you should mention that. But I was really angry that the browser was lagging. Your school never gave you anything but a social complex. Oof. I hope it was one of the good ones. Oh boy, I love Epic. You're also becoming a VTuber. Great. Everyone needs to become a VTuber, really. It's ideal. The ideal existence is a VTuber. Let's be real. The PPSH is back. I'm not allowed to complain about it. I already looked at it. I already said things. I didn't really complain about it. I don't really know the PPSH well enough to complain about it. Go up. Use an Unreal Engine. Let's have a look at the pumpkins. PBR environment package made in a PBR pipeline, well suited for both AAA quality projects and projects that focus on optimization and performance PBR. Oh, you own it. I don't like that. Not even hollow pumpkins with a simulated candle on the inside. I want my money back. Last one fits your VTubing theme. The 4-in-1 research environment mega bundle. You know, I didn't even look at this. Like, I should have looked at this. And I'm recording now. I'll pause the... It really is the coming of a new age of Half-Life games. Not on the source. Could you please take a look at the document with update notes, overview images, and detailed information about this package? Also, the release notes are posted regularly on Discord. 797 meshes. What was the thing that we just got, though? We just got a thing. We could probably include it in the Antonia game project. It was very nice. Stylized toon? Cartoon water shader. Tiny Toon RTS set. No. Stylized? Dreamscape nature, meadows, stylized foliage, stylized Egypt, stylized renders, stylized Asian village, stylized fantasy provincial, spell draw, stylized rendering, interactive stylized low poly grass. Bruh. We literally just got this. What was it called? Village? Is village the keyword we need? Fantastic village pack. Here it is. This was free today as well. Not the advanced village pack. That's an Epic Games object, but the fantastic village pack. This could go into the Antonia game project. Most of it not. No. It's Nick Cage. Is that not Nicolas Cage? Is that not John Wick? please. I feel like some of this stuff could go in. The bridges and external structures, perhaps, and ladders. There were ladders as well, I think. Maybe not too much of it. Just a little bit. A very nice asset back though. Stop wasting time. Get back to the project at hand. Sorry. The reason I'm sitting weird today is because I'm drying a jumper on the back of my chair and I don't want to lean on it because it's wet. So we got the flask of glass. That's what we were doing. We were calculating some kind of phenol. So it's for sphere it'd be easy, but for a Erlenmeyer flask shaped lad, soggy snap. What we doing today? Plans. Make him video game. We make video game about ants. Is this too much? This is fine, right? It's a vial of mercury. Yeah. Okay, so do you know what we can also do? We can change this to a more expensive rendering technique as well. We can surface translucency volume. We spent hours recompiling this yesterday only to remember that you can't use translucency with nanite, and all of the meshes had been prepared for nanite because I'm an idiot. So you couldn't actually see through it, and it was just rendering as like default texture. Ew. And like it took an hour to work that one out because I have no brain. Still preparing the shaders. We can't do anything until it's finished preparing those shaders, I'm afraid. That's a nice arrangement you got there, Reno. Has anyone here heard of 7TV, except for Prime Codec Von Shrink, who told me about 7TV? Fun fact, kids. I googled 7TV is the Russian national news network. Not a plugin for Twitch at all. Not a Firefox extension. What browser does OBS use, by the way? What browser does OBS use for browser sources? You're most expressive when you can use emotes, Lamau. Oh yeah, I was testing some stuff out. So I mentioned yesterday on stream that I was really sad that I could only play games that I was capturing on my TV and not my monitor. Because, you know, my monitor doesn't have an HDMI in. 1+1 is one of the largest TV channels in Ukraine. Okay. Alright. That's 2, right? What? Anyway. Simple names for trademark is popularly mean. Oh, okay. Yeah, but 7TV? Don't you think having an emote plugin called 7TV is like a big meme? Because emotes are based on memes, and calling it after the Russian state news network is like the Russian state news network is a meme. Allegory? Opinion, not fact. Theoretical reasoning, not fact. Not unconfirmed. But you know, it follows that it would be something similar to this. Why is it not speculizing? Because we didn't set the roughness or anything? Right, yeah, of course. vector input. SRA. So metallic, specular, roughness, and anisotropy. And the default values for this are going to be 0.5, 0, 0, and 0. You heard about it first time, you Google too much. It's the first thing that comes up when you Google 7TV. Welcome to the Russian State News Network website, where you can find out all about cool, actual, factual things that happen in Russia. I had to type in 7TV Twitch extension to get the actual 7TV out. Air quotes actual, air quotes 7TV. Anyway, yeah, look, I'll look into that later. I don't have enough time to actually poke it. What was I talking about? Playing video games on the TV. The TV is at like a, I'm going to say 30-degree angle from the main monitor. It's where chat is usually. So it's there instead of there, right? So it's hard to play a game on that thing, right? Already, it's difficult because the camera faces me, right, when I'm streaming, and I only play games when I'm streaming. And I was very angry that I couldn't play Steel Battalion specifically on the main monitor because Steel Battalion controller requires pedals. Pedals go under the desk. Desk doesn't have any space to move the pedals at a 30-degree angle, so you're kind of twisting yourself around in a human-shaped tornado. And then the controller also was bopping into the Xbox. If it was straight onto the monitor, I have just enough room to use both joysticks correctly. Right? And I was like, oh, but I can't play games streamed through the game capture device on the monitor because the monitor doesn't have a source switcher and the monitor doesn't have HDMI in. And I was just like, I was thinking to myself, that can't be right. That can't be right. This is a fairly expensive monitor made by a fairly reputable brand that's fairly modern. So I had a cheeky peeky with my mirror. And there's HDMI in. Okay, so that's stage one sorted. HDMI in confirmed. Second thing I do is I press the menu button, and yeah, there's a source switcher. And not only is there a source switcher, if you don't press the menu button and go through the whole menus, if you press the enter key instead of the main menu button, that is direct control to the source switcher, and enter key up just takes you directly to HDMI. So I can play video games on the monitor, on the main monitor, which means that I don't have to move chat around anymore. I don't have to move chat to my main monitor and play games on the left monitor. I don't have to swivel around in my chair. My hand is a lot better, by the way, thank you. Or any crazy stuff like that. I might have actual space to put the Steel Battalion controller down now. But, huge drawback. Monitor doesn't have speakers. Monitor does not have audio out. So, I need an HDMI audio extractor. And I'm just like, if I have another one of these goddamn black boxes stuck to my goddamn wall. Wait. No. This doesn't do it already, does it? It does not. Poopy. Okay. I was just wondering if the source switcher could, the source alterizer could have done it, but it does not. Anyway, metallic 0, roughness 0, opacity 0.05. Normal. But yeah, so I need an HDMI audio extractor, and you can get those. Just a USB powered thing, and I'll probably, so there's a little shelf with the Nintendo Switch and the capture card on it. I'll probably have it there with a tiny HDMI cable going to it, and then the regular HDMI cable going to the thing, and then the source switcher, the audio extractor can come down to a preamp. I plug my earphones into that, or I don't know. I kind of need I'm getting to the point where I need a mixer. It's embarrassing, I know, but it is the way it is. Surface translucency volume. Screen space reflections. I don't know. I don't want screen space reflections. I want lumen reflections, but... You had a dream about becoming a vlogger once. Is that a VTuber that only streams logging? Like a Canadian VTuber? Sorry, was that bad? I can't say that, can I? Sorry, Canada. You have more than just a lumber industry. You have a thriving and vibrant other industry as well. Coffee. You don't grow coffee. Sorry, I don't know anything about Canada. Please, if you're Canadian, by the way, yeah. Oh, wow. If you're Canadian, by the way, please share your country's history to the chat right now. Or if you're watching on YouTube and you're Canadian, please share your country's history in the chat down below. It's not really a chat though, is it? It's more like a message board. Yeah, sorry. It's pretty crazy here. Like virtual trees. They have reindeer farms. Oh, do you know what? That's pretty cool. Is it reflecting? Like the stuff inside is reflecting. That's weird. Do you see that? The goop on the inside is reflecting as if the words in front of the goop were hollow, but they're not, and they're not touching the goop. Football. What? FB Spiral. I don't know what that is. Twitch global emote. Okay. Duly noted. It doesn't seem like there's any reflections on the flask itself. Like, I want there to be like a specular highlight on it, you know? Just ball. Express yourself best through emotes like Reno. Just ball. Is this a forward shaded forward surface translucency volume? Surface forward shade. I don't even care. I don't even care. I don't care. I clicked all the buttons. All the buttons have been clicked. Oh, we need to make it normal. Become an AI VTuber. Set up an AI that will analyze chat messages and result face expression and head movement. Super simple generalization. Even Siren can do it. Set up an AI for autoplay some games. Farm viewers. Yeah. That's the one. Shit, you have a meeting. Be right back. Enjoy your meeting. Still baffled by this global surprise. Did Clayman make it? I mean, maybe. Maybe I made a global emote, huh? Maybe I made... Scrolling through the global emotes. Am I... What? It is really not working very well today, is it? Nothing is working for me today. I like it because it looks like the shocked Pikachu, but it's also wearing a luchador mask. Spoiler, Twitch already has some AI VTubers. Some mute VTubers on Twitch is AI. Whoa. Are you calling Zentreya an AI? How dare you? How dare you? I love how fast this is. Like the iterative process of improving a shader, it's bat, 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 bat. It's lightning quick. I just want a cool specular highlight on the flash. Don't touch famous Russian VTuber. Zentreya's Russian? No way. No way. It's all coming out now. It's all coming. Is that right? Is that what glass looks like? I don't even know anymore. Oh! It's getting there. It's just kind of misty, you know? Spoiler, they were not muted years ago and streamed with Facecam. No links. The only VTuber I know who has streamed accidentally non-muted with Facecam is Rushia. And the Facecam was pointed at the desk, so you didn't see anything. But Rushia has been assassinated. Oh my... Alright, you didn't like that, okay. Okay. By the Hollow Council. And, yeah, that was that. Anyway. It doesn't look right, does it? Spoiler, not all dogs go to heaven. Oh my god. Yana's also streamed for about 5 years on YouTube for about 10 viewers before coming onto Twitch. I know that. I have... Hold on. If you don't think I haven't been following Yana's since I was like a tiny little baby, how dare you? How? Ooh. I've been following Yana's since like the crusty, not even the stream days, but like, do you remember everybody in the club getting tipsy? Before that. Yana's was famous VR chat mute for about 5 years. You should know it then. I don't know what VR chat is. What is VR chat? Flask, glass. Thin translucent? Consider. Your third twin uses VR chat. What is VR chat? What is El Chat del Viaro? The only chat in VR that I know about is Pavlov. And in that game you talk with gun. Pavlov's such a good game. Oh no! Inhaling coffee, not the most optimum way to receive caffeine. There's a map. There's a Pavlov map, the Kill House. I came very close to holding a record on that. Ooh, hello. Oh, hello. Oh, yeah. VR chat is best category on Twitch. It's like Second Life, but in VR? Wow. That's deep. That's deep. Reno's an old man. I don't, what? We're all old men here. That was implied by saying like it's like Second Life. Yeah. Funny memes. I played Second Life once. I think I spent 3 hours trying to work out the 3D modeling tools. I'm sure they're great, but I was a baby. I didn't know what I was doing. Every old man in VR chat turned into a beautiful anime waifu. Pog. That's why the internet's here. That's why this bubble exists. Yes! Yes! It's glorious. Show it to me. It's the okay. It's got a little bit of a crazy Frebsnell going on. It's okay. All right. It's interesting. You played before meshes, back when it was all prims. Oh my god. Oh my god. I don't like it. 5'9" gray squirrel. Whoa. Whoa. Fogging. Use vertex fog. Do I want? I don't want that. I don't think I want that. I don't think I want that either. And I don't think we need this. Multiple scattering, extinction, start offset, Niagara, advance, light mass, preview, import. Refraction. No. No. Surface translucent default two-sided material. Ray trace shadows. I have an asset pack for glass. Might have a look in there. What's that? Accurate volumetric glass pack or something stupid like that. You can have it downloaded as well. Village glass, yeah. Advanced glass material pack or volumetric glass? I have both of these installed. Downloaded and installed and ready to go. They're both for use with Engine 5. Feature-rich material of glass combined with volumetric effects. This might be the one. This might be the one. This one could very well be the one. Well, I don't know. Oh, that is actually glass under the water. Okay. That's pretty intense. Advanced glass material pack. Let's have a cheeky peeky at this. High quality and easily customizable glass. Dirty, shattered, wet. Opacity, refraction, roughness. These objects are not included in the package. Clean, dirty, frozen, shattered, wet. I think it's the volumetric glass one that we want. Don't want to shoot myself in the foot. We can always take it back out of the project if it's not. It's not a massive problem, is it? Is it? I don't think it's a massive problem. Might be a massive problem, but I don't think it's a massive problem. But it could be, but I don't think it is. But it could be. But I don't think, but it could be. Also, rail strikes this week. Fuck. I just remembered. Rail strikes. Materials. You forgot you made ramen? Oh no. Utilities. Oh, material functions. Oh, great. Prepare initiators. Yeah. That also doesn't have reflections. Yeah. There's not a lot of bending, but there are seemingly now. Too busy getting your stuff together. Got to go into town in about an hour. Runs like a headless chicken. Correct. There doesn't appear to be any reflections still. You know, a good VRC for a community, they from the US. Check if you want. You can easily find others to watch, get into it. Community support each other, they have artists, etc. So yeah. Well, isn't that nice? I have no idea what I'm doing right now. I have absolutely 0% of a clue. I'm just... Okay. Okay. Ooh. You track trolls, griefers. Oof. Well, Reno... I don't know what to say. It's a pretty nice crystal, not gonna lie. It's very geometric. No, it's got the UV lines showing. Where's my beaker? Where's my flaskoid? VR makes your eyes hurt. Yeah. I kind of like that. Like, it's not right. It's nowhere near right. Is it expensive? Oh, it is expensive. Oh no. Oh no. It's so expensive. Cutie kitty, welcome in. Welcome back. Hello. Lit. Okay. Where was this material that we were making anyway? Oh, we were making this in the stupid mesh folder, weren't we? Stupid, 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 stupid. We're doing great. We just, it's even worse. Oh, what the frick? The least optimized shader I could have ever made. Yeah, we're doing fantastic over here. We're just, you know, struggling. If you know a cool way to have extra cheap but very nice looking glass, you tell me. You tell me right now. Cause I ain't got it. I got extra expensive glass. That looks horrible. Deep breaths. What am I seeing? This is the shader complexity as estimated by the engine. So the vertex shader isn't too bad, but the pixel shader is literally rammed into next week. IKEA, yeah, IKEA. I actually, that's a good point. I need to measure to see exactly how much room I have for this IKEA, so I can try and wangle a 2x2 instead of a 2x1. Speaking of IKEA, I'll show you what I want to do, right? I'll show you what I want to do. So I have already, I have a desk here, and I have a desk here like this, right? And this is where you are, right? You are, this is chat, and this is where I am. I've got some speakers, and there's an Xbox in front. This is this screen here, so this would have like a little paint thing in it, and then there would be, you know, chat, and then there'd be me, and then there'd be like a line, and there'd be some shit here. Anyway, Bolin! You know, Liquid Shader is similar to Half-Life Alyx Liquid, but not only for Godot, so you don't know about Unreal Engine. Bolin! So behind this monitor, I have a Kallax 2x1 shelving unit, right? So it's like this. And it is completely rammed with Pramo. Like, it's filled entirely with, and there's a piece of wood. There's a piece of wood there as well. And there's stuff on top. And what I wanted to do is have another one of those, like it'd be off the screen by now. So I'd have another one of those 2x1s here. So I could organize some of the stuff that's there. I'd move the guitar cases away. I don't need them. I mean, I need them, but I don't need them. And the idea was to have a 2x1 here, or a 4x1 here, whatever, however it works out, and then a 4x, oh god, You can see by my easy reasoning that this is an excellent idea already with some L brackets, okay? So they'd be joined here solidly, firmly, permanently. Glass bottle, just get from Sketchfab and drop some cube map as a background reflection in the bottle with surface shader. We don't deal with cube maps here. This is the Lumen generation prim codec. We're not doing source garbadules. Anyway, my idea was if I had enough room at the top here, instead of having a 2x1, I'd have a 2x2, and I need to measure if I have enough room. But yeah. Oh, that looks beautiful though. Like, yeah. So behind this it's a window. I think there's an openable bit there, and then glass. But there's curtains in front of it, so you can't actually see the window. And there's clothes hung on the curtain pole. Anyway, that's me. I was thinking about putting like a solar panel in the window directly. It's not to use the window. Who needs natural light? That's what I was thinking about. Anyway, yeah, I want a shader that does glass correctly. But it looks like I've downloaded the wrong shader pack, so let's just add the other shader pack as well. This is what we call asset bloat. I feel like I do this every time I look for glass. The volumetric glass has got the shiny, very flashy advertisement, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's the one. Mana's most handsome? Incorrect. Berlin is most handsome. Mana only comes second in handsomeness. Game development is an art. You cannot generalize the creation of art. So why are you trying to make me do? Why are you trying to get me to do cube maps? Where is it? Advanced glass. Clean. Examples. Yeah, this is the one. This is the exact pack that I came looking for. This is the exact pack I came looking for. It's got all these beautiful, prearranged, preordained, beautiful material instances that you can just drag and drop into your game. Who made that silly flask? I don't know, Berlin, but I had to scale it down a whole bunch so it'd fit in the ant colony. It was so big. It was like the size. It was like the size of the Tree of Life, which I guess might be correct, but it's only a 50 mil. Like if it was a 500 mil, maybe you could fit a whole bunch of ants in 500 mil. But just a 50 mil flask, I don't know if it would be that big. Oh, I found this as well. It's just lying around. Ooh, okay. Doesn't have a collision model. Interesting. But there were no errors. Double interesting. Flaskzilla. And my engine is frozen. Welcome to game development, everybody. Where art and science join hands in the prevention of human progress. Unreal Engine. Yep. Oh no. Oh yes! Maybe. Every second it spends rendering, it gets slightly better. There's a lot of it's really weird how it just stops when it hits the other stuff. Like it just stops trying to render the other side. Like they're not joined. I mean, they are joined, but they're not joined. They're not the same surface. It's just kind of weird. I guess it's what would happen. Because you hit the whatchamacallit? The determinism zone, right? When you have something pressed close against something with a refractive index, you can you can kind of cheat. It's a thing. You can cheat the refractive index change by getting real close, and you get artifacts by which you can see things through mirrored surfaces, etc. Isn't physics great? Anyway, I was just trying to find a nice glass shader to put on this bottle that wasn't the one that I had. And it turns out none of the shaders that I have for glass are actually that good. But this one is going to have to... This one will suffice when it finishes compiling. Maybe. Maybe we'll tweak it again afterwards. I just wanted some shiny bits on the top. That's all I wanted. Just some shiny, shimmery, shimmery bits. Like that, right there. I want that, but bigger. And if I increase the specular amount, it doesn't increase the shine. It doesn't increase the shininess. It just increases the general... It just increases the general brightness of the material, which is not what we want, because that will increase fogging, and we don't want fogging because it's glass. Glass typically doesn't fogging. Shiny is emission, and bloom should deal with the emission color. What? What? Shiny is emission, and bloom should do... No, not shiny, reflectant. The specular highlight, as witnessed upon both the material preview and in the material on the flask, but more. Like here and here, it's turning up, but it's not prominent, right? It's not a feature of the thing. But if you grab yourself a glass, Unreal Engine shaders, yes. If you grab a glass real quick and look at it, you'll have like a big white rim where the light of your room is lighting up the shiny bit of the glass. Anyway. Science meshes. Nope. Looks like frosted glass now. Don't bully me. Why you bully me? It looks cool. It's not meant to look cool. But science is cool. You got me there. Held at gunpoint to admit the truth. Science is pretty cool. So we're back now to the flask of Pepto-Bismol, only we've taken all of the zinc oxide particles out, so it's just the pink dye left. Yeah, that looks fairly cromulent. This is probably an absolute bear to render as well, isn't it? Go on. Go on. Jeez Louise, man. Off the scale performance. That is not good. Okay, that is beyond not good. That is actively terrible. Even the stuff in the distance isn't that good. But like, it's not this bad. My goodness. Order of rendering. It's translucent, that's why. So you can see that stuff in the background. And that stuff in the background is green. But the stuff in the foreground is not green by any stretch of the imagination. Okay. Let's make a post-it note about this. I need to move from post-it notes to an actual productivity board, maybe. I don't feel like making a Trello board for it, and there aren't any other productivity boards that I like. I don't like Notion. I don't like any of them. They're all bad. They're all bad. I'm sorry, but they are. What do we need? We need optimize. Optimize. Erlen. Mayor. Flask. Mesh. And shader. Perfect. Ooh. I don't need to download the new Antonia blend and re-export it because I already have that file on my PC. But I do need to re-export it, so we can do that while we cry over this horrible shader that we've birthed into the world. I mean, it's air quotes fine, but it's air quotes not really that fine, is it? I mean, realistically, the mesh data can be simplified, perhaps. The shader, I'd really like, yeah, as QT mentioned, I would really appreciate. The stuff on the inside of the flask is a different scale to the stuff on the outside of the flask, and that is annoying me. That is not correcting. That is not. I can't select translucent things either. That's really annoying as well. Oh, I'm getting real angry right now. Okay, yeah. So that's wrong. That might be why. Yeah, that might be why the reflectance is playing up on the old Hujima Blue. Because it's trying to render it outside of the. What is going on here? You said something useful. I didn't mean that. I mean, yes, always, perpetually, but specifically, I would like a shader as seen. Goose for bra. I don't know what that means. I would like a shader as seen in Half-Life Alyx for the goopy goops. It doesn't really even need to be that advanced. It doesn't need to be like actual liquid physics. These are going to be like collectibles in games, so they're going to be static. Maybe like that, and then maybe they just like spin, and you just come on. You just witness them existing in the world, and then you collect them, and then they stop existing in the world. You know what I mean? Perfect. Maybe they start existing somewhere else. Picking up what you're putting down. That's right. Let's escape from that hell. The Unreal Launcher, please. Half-Life Alyx does not use physics. Simple shader effect using super cheap performance if it's made correctly. Yeah, I know. That's what. Yeah. I know exactly what it is. I don't know how to make it. It's a blend file that I have actually. So you didn't see anything. You didn't see anything. We go to the Science Assets folder, and then we go to Test Skelly, and then Antonia Princess Unreal.blend. Which crashes my PC instantly. There we go. There we go. I feel like there's something wrong here, but I don't care. What a weird ant. Perfectly normal looking ant. Do you know what's not perfectly normal though? Me using Blender, what the hell? Export FBX. 2, 1. So we want the mesh and the armature. We want X forward, Z up, use space transform, geometry, face, armature, only deform bones. And durable? Absolutely. Don't save. Yeah, I opened 2 instances of Blendoid. And then if we go to content, asset tools? Question mark? Oh, yeah, right. Okay, we can delete all of that. Being referenced? Are you kidding me? Get out of here. Get destroyed. This is where the engine crashes and I cry. Please. They're not loaded. Look at the level we're working in. This is Overworld 2. I haven't opened any of those levels, you fiend. Ooh. I definitely I was just saying get distracted. I was doing something, wasn't I? Where did I where are they? Game content. Meshes? Don't do this to me. Material? No. Mass? No. Asset tools. Animation playground. Well, we'll just go there manually. It's fine. Click on this. Browse to asset. It's in content testing. Scaling mesh. It's in re-import with new file. Theoretically, it's going to complain because we're missing bones, and we're going to say, "I don't give a shit." Oh. Okay. Interesting. What's wrong with you? Huh? Don't... If I go in here and I see more than just death bones... Tweet org? Oh, I swear to God. I swear to God. Fine. Fine. I don't even care. Make a new skeleton. I don't even care. Why is it going to be this way, man? So I'm working on the assumption that Unreal Engine decided to ignore my instruction to ignore importing things that weren't tweak bones, and now I've imported it a third time without tweak bones, and we're gonna find out. No, we have. Okay, we have org bones. Tweak spine. So Blender has done us a disservice. Blender has stabbed us in the back, basically, is what you're trying to tell me. And if we drag if we drag this new... we drag this new one into the scene. Somehow that one works. Interesting. What? 2-1, yeah, okay. So, physics asset. Show me what the physics asset looks like. Well, incorrect, but nice try. So I'm assuming with no physics asset, it's not gonna play ball, right? It's gonna be like, yeah, we don't have a physics asset. We can't simulate physics, obviously. Sure, bones. Here we go. It's perfect. I believe this is something that I did last time and it almost crashed my PC. And the length is going to be 0.5. Why not? 0.1. Why not? It's perfect. It's perfect. So now you have a physics asset. A bad one, but you have a physics asset. You can scrunch. But we can see that none of the bones have attached themselves to each other and gone crazy. So I think maybe we've pruned enough of the weirdness. So if we have a look, oh my goodness, we have a look here, you'll see stuff like this where bones have been suspended on themselves, and this a little bit crumply, but it doesn't look like there's any bones which have been like snapped to an origin point, which is what we had before, and then it all went wrong. So yeah, if I said there was going to be another episode of doing Bony Boys again, I'm sorry. There's going to be another episode of doing Bony Boys. It is what it is. This scroll wheel, by the way, is fantastic. I really enjoy the smooth scroll wheel. It makes me a bit nervous sometimes because I don't know if it's stopped or not, but it's really nice to just yeet the scroll. So if we move those friends to the side. It's a learning process, kids, okay? I didn't say it was going to be fast. I didn't say it was going to be fun, but it's definitely going to be educational. So, I'm just going to be right back. I don't think I'm going to get a new drink, but I'm going to be right back. And when I get back... I don't even know, man. I do not even know. Is that Paimon? Hold up. Oh, Hungry Paimon? Is that Twitch Global? No way. No way. Maybe I will get a drink. Anyway. I'll be right back. Yeah. Slowed the overworld back up. Let's see if we can't do something about this. So the first thing that I'm thinking is we change this. To masked, and then we get this and we dither temporal AA, and we put that into the opacity mask. Is there any point in making it like masked if it's going to be emissive and it's going to have a crap ton of bloom over it anyway? Consider. Let's see what it looks like in situ. Let's see what it appears like in the game instance. It looks kind of weird, doesn't it? We could make the fluid non-unlit. It could not be a surface. Dynamically lit object, 140 static mesh, 233. I don't see how the pixel shader is faster than the vertex shader now. What have you done? Oh boy. That is a very energetic looking material, isn't it? It's kind of fizzy. I don't know. It has a look to it, doesn't it? Ooh. Has a look to it. What's the performance cost of that though? Is it better? Could it go in the top? It's much better. It's a green. So we could probably afford to do like one of these, and then 2 to 3 dimensional vector, append vector, append vector. So we have texture coordinate. Components mask. I think this works. Like that, and then we time. Something like that. And then node component mask, not enough components in deriv base local value float 1, float 2 for component mask 010. Oh. What position? Is that better for you, kid? Texture coordinates looks like it's only going to deal with... Oh boy. We've made science, everybody. We have made something. We could probably just make the thing in the thing just a wacky shader, couldn't we? You just make it lit. Because now it looks weird, right? So we've got part of an effect, but we don't have all of the effect. Does that not look pretty good? Oh, rest in peace, my GPU. It's happened again. We witness everyone the GPU cache crashing in real time. Look at that beautiful hill over there. Oh yeah. If we get real zoomed out, things get a little bit crazy, huh? Okay, you gotta go. Right, Reno, enjoy your trip into town. Please also, you also take care. Try and catch the end of the stream. Well, I'll be going for a little while longer. It's almost time for the cuppa though, so shame you'll miss the cuppa. True shame. So this is what we have right now. This is absolute world position, right? So this is like if we move this up, it's gonna phase through itself, and if we tilt this, that looks so trippy. Sad you'll miss the cuppa. True shame. We want a local position instead of absolute world position. Because then it's going to be from the mesh Z positive. I don't I want like more variation maybe in the gross goop in the inside. I don't know if it should be well positioned. Because I mean theoretically, but we're not doing the thing at the top, are we? So it does just look weird if it's that way. So maybe we'll just have them relatively flat towards the world. And then it doesn't really matter if it's world position or local position. Jesus. What was I thinking? There should be a gradient from the top to the bottom, right? Ooh. Okay. No, I want what am I talking about? I want blue. That should be a gradient from the okay, fine. Preparing shaders. Preparing shaders for disappointment, I'm assuming. That's it? That's just a 1, but oh no, okay. Interesting. Very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. Okay. Yo. What's up, you? We'll do a frac there and it will give us bands, right? It'll give us a lot of bands. So what we're getting is every unit distance that we have away from the origin increases the value of local position Z by 1. How do? How do indeed. And what we want to have happen actually is actually for the object size entirely. You're never gonna forget that. What? What did I do? You're still laughing at it? What? No, stop. Pixel normal world space. Dots products. The menu in our game? What menu? Dot product with the yo. What do? Oh. So if the pixel is facing in world space directly up, this is going to create for us. It only works on spheres though, doesn't it? Yeah, so if the pixel is facing directly up, I don't know why there's a seam here. That's weird. Hey, you know what? That looks fine. Yeah, there's still a seam there. I don't know why. I know you don't trust me. I know you don't trust me. So what I'm going to do is, instead of making this an opacity mask, we'll just have the opacity be baked to a value of 1. Instead, this is going to drive a lerp, a linear interpolate to the base color. We don't have any emissive color. And when alpha is 1, it's going to equal this. And when alpha is 0, it's going to equal this. Theoretically, we could create within our own private laboratory I still don't know why there's a line there. Huh? Component mask, RG and B. Throw that into the multiplier then. Okay, its default value is of 0. How about 0.1, 0.1, 0.1? 1, 0.1? Looks like I'm sleeping. Oh my goodness. There we go. And time gets multiplied by scalar value times scalar, and default value is going to be 0.5. Let me tell you. At 0.5 time though. Tracking does bug out sometimes. It's quite hilarious. I'm glad you enjoy it. I'm glad you enjoy the bugs. Very interesting. Oh, it is still moving. Ew. Ew. Oh, right, yeah. So we can now change this back to 1, and that'll stretch everything that way. Maybe even 3. We could get crazy here. Oh, wow. This. Okay. Oops. This needs to happen like here. Yeah. Well, I don't even need masks, because we can just take these, right? So we can just multiply that by that, and that. Multiply that by that. And where does that even fucking plug in these days? There. And then multiply. Making a wave shader. I'm making a goopy science shader. But the multiply was obviously The multiply was obviously scaling the stuff. After the time has been applied, so it was scaling also the time speed, which isn't what we wanted. Let's get these all organized into the correct kind of zonage. I don't need that node anymore. Oh no, we were compiling shaders and I decided to try and save the shaders while compiling the shaders. What a bad decision, kids. Oh my god, it's 5:30 already. You know what that means? Do you know what? We could make this very stylized. Witness the performance. Ooh. Does that actually need to be a multiply add? That needs to be the base. That needs to be the add. And then that needs to go into the alpha maybe. And then we get the crispy top as well. No? Did I do that wrong? Oh yeah, I've done that the exact opposite way around to the way it was meant to be done. So I don't like it. I don't like it. That's all I'm gonna say. Yesterday we talked about Gundam game. I disliked it. Overwatch 2 is better. No comment. No comment. I mean, functionally, having been developed by a company who have released already a successful and mechanically fun video game, Overwatch 1, I would assume that Overwatch 2 would carry at least some of that enjoyment gene forward. However, the thing that makes Overwatch unfun is not the gameplay, as we've discussed at length before on this channel. The thing that makes Overwatch unfun are the people who play it. Like, the Gundam game is mechanically unfun to play, right? The actual fundamental gameplay loop of the Gundam game is bad, and that's why it sucks. Overwatch 2 became a Microsoft game. You play it. I mean, it's free, so yeah. I'll try it out, and if it's, if it's bad, I won't play it, and if it's good, I will continue to play it. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, right? We get a two-tone. We get a two-tone animated material. Not that hard to render. It's dark green, which is fine considering the outside bottle is literally the hardest thing to render apparently on the planet Earth. It's just a little bit harder to render than the plain white text. Damn. I'd say that's fine. And it looks nice, right? It's got a nice little, it's got a close-up detail to it. It's got a distant kind of feel to it. It looks kind of sciencey. It looks kind of like the thingy reaction on the top, right? If we made it orange and blue. If we made the dark stuff like a light blue and the white stuff like an orange. I'll show you. You'll have seen it before, right? Guarantee you will have seen this before. And this needs to be, I think... Whoa, pink! Whoa, pink. Kind of like that color. And you'll go, oh yeah, I'm subscribed to Nile Red. Shout out Nile Red. Red Nile? Nile Blue? What? Okay, because it's emissive, it's slightly harder to capture in the video than it should be, but there you go. That looks very convincingly science. And you can see how the noise texture propagates the shape down onto the sides. So it's not just like it's some smelly texture. You can see this line here falls down the side of the thing as it's created at the top. It's not actually like that. It's because the texture is the 3D volume, and the volume has been pushed to the outsides of the thing. I think it looks good. I think it looks neat. I think that's a pretty cool effect, and I'm gonna stick with that. I'm sure Bullen likes it as well. Good. Good. I'll have to change the mesh slightly, but that's just because there's a weird overlap. I did not expect there to be. Not a problem. Might be cool if we can get like a distance fade. Like if we do I don't think it needs to be translucent even now. We could actually very much just go here, and then it's a surface, it is opaque, and it is unlit. And obviously, because it was just being emissive in the scene anyway, nothing has changed about the way it renders in the world. And guess what? That's right, kids. It's even cheaper now. I know what I'm doing. Even cheap. It's almost as cheap now as the text, but it does have a noise texture lookup, which is always expensive. Using procedural vector noise inside your video game shader is always going to be expensive, but affordably expensive. The kind of luxury that we've come to grow accustomed to in this day and age. Anyway, that is it for the Unreal Engine segment. Thank you for coming to the Unreal Engine segment. If you came to the Unreal Engine segment, thank you, Clabber, for the shout out. What? Noise is free? It's just a texture. No, it's not prime codec monitoring. Noise is procedurally generated 3D volumetric texture, which is computed at runtime on your GPU. I'm sorry. Okay, this one is actually texture based, so it's actually slightly cheaper. No, you, Berlin. Is this okay? Does this look cool? 3D texture still free? No. Texture lookups is the most expensive operation material can do. Texture lookup is the least optimized thing because it occupies space on the GPU's VRAM cache. And when you occupy space on the VRAM cache, you don't have a lot of VRAMs. You have to occupy as little space as possible. And there's a high chance that you'll get garbage collected. You'll have to reload the texture from like RAM or hard disk, which is even slower. You have to wait for all those instructions to process before you can process the texture lookup. And the texture lookup can only process one pixel at a time, and it looks at the pixels, and instead of grabbing one pixel, it grabs 9 pixels or a cluster of pixels around the pixel. VRAM is much bigger than yours. God damn it. Anyway, thanks for coming to watch the Unreal Engine segment. Thank you, Bullet, for hanging out. Thank you, everyone else, for heckling. And I'll see you in the next segment.